Do we need to find more initiatives? Do we need to find the funding to help these people? Yes. But to have a concrete answer on how to do it, I don't know. That's it.
I totally agree with you, but there's still our responsibility. We have to find a way to help them. And I do believe that with all the brains of 160,000 people in Sudbury, we may get some suggestions on how to do it. We won't be miracle workers. No, that's not going to happen. But please advise people or your representative, whoever you will be, on ideas. We need ideas to be able to help them. You can't ignore them. They'll be there and they will always be there. We're spending money on an amphitheater, which is very nice because I've gone there and breathed the crap that's in the air. It's cute. We have some 5, 6 nice evenings. I agree. But these people that need that same 2.2 or $2.8 million that we spend on these festivals and all this, accommodations, we'll have to start thinking of our people, the people that are homeless. It's serious. I've seen them. I've seen them beg for a simple sandwich. How lucky we are. And we're complaining about taxes. I make a good wage and I can pay my taxes as long as they're not wasted. I'll pay 4.9% if I must. Okay? I'll pay the 4.9% if I must. Because I can afford it. Oh yes. But I don't want City Hall to blow it away. Give it to people that need it. Give me the services that I need or that my other citizens around me need. Thank you.
Yeah, like everyone else is saying, and you can't ignore them. If we have 600 homeless people, we can't let them starve. We can't leave them. We have to find ways of providing for their basic needs, and we have to find ways of helping them get out of that trap, if they want. Some people don't want to get out of it. But I think the way we treat our homeless and the way we treat our low-income people in the Sudbury housing unit areas, I think it's called Zone 30 or whatever it is, low-income, high crime. The way we treat the people, and I'm looking at Ward 5, when I go to, and I had a meeting with Dee Naturel, the president of the Ryan Heights Neighborhood Association, and we walked through the playground at Ryan Heights. And I told her, quite frankly, I said, if we had a playground like this in the valley, there would be a revolt. There would be a revolt. The people in the valley would not stand for it. We have to start giving people pride. And the homeless, the people in low income, the people who really need our help, we have to start paying attention to them. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to have to spend a lot of extra money, but whatever it costs, we have to take care of them, because the way we treat the people most in need in our community, in our city, is a reflection of the humanity that exists in the city of Greater Sudbury. And the fact that we have 600 homeless in Sudbury, I'm not proud of it. But we have so many other people living in poverty who are trying to get out. And we have to work on it. We have to do something about it. We just cannot leave them alone to fend for themselves. I don't know the total answer, but we have to do something.
Thank you for the question. Though I was a probation parole officer, I did have a degree in social work, as does my son and my daughter-in-law. So I understand what the plight of the homeless is. But first of all, I think we need to deal with our stereotypes when we're talking about homeless. homeless people are not all street beggars. Homeless people sometimes live on 2 incomes at minimum wage that can't afford a decent place to live. They are homeless as well too, by definition. I think one of the ways that the city can do, which they've done, I gotta say, they have gotten better in dealing with homelessness. But I think we as councillors and as the city of Sudbury, let's try that again, councillors of the city of Sudbury, is we have to lobby our governments, our provincial and federal governments, for them to increase the cost of living. I mean, if the cost of living increases to a point, the income will increase again, and things become more affordable. So that's an important aspect. The other aspect too is we as a city, when we can, we have to start thinking about affordable housing, whether that means building cooperatives or whether that means building homes, temporary or so on. But that's how we've got to get involved. I think it's deplorable when we get to -30 below out there and we see street people out there, and some of them are freezing to death. And so that's got to change. But again, like I said, let's change our stereotype of a homeless person, and that will go a long way.
Thank you for the question. 20 years ago when I was on municipal council, that was the start of the provincial download to municipalities, and it continues to happen. And municipalities simply can't afford all the download, and they have to cut expenditures, ODS, DEC, sub, and so on, that were put in place to help those living in poverty by continually being eroded away. We have a number of empty buildings in the city of Sudbury, which could fairly easily be transformed into shelter for the homeless. It won't be up to the standards of an apartment perhaps, but it's better than on the street. It's important, again, as Richard mentioned, we don't stigmatize the homeless. There's reasons they're there. I'm sure they didn't choose it. But we have to get to know who these people are. They're citizens as well, whether they're paying taxes or not. Progress of a community is measured by how we treat the unfortunate and the poor. 600 might not sound like a big number, but if you're one of the 600, it's huge. I think we need to talk to the stakeholders that help deal with the poor, that help the homeless, see what they need, see what they can recommend. And I think we need to talk to the homeless. We need to welcome them as citizens of our city, ask them for their input, see what we can do for them. They're the ones that are homeless after all. I was fortunate in December to attend an art exhibit put on by Kingman College called About Face, and it had pictures of some of the homeless people in Sudbury and their biography, and what they liked, what they didn't like, what made them tick. And it was wonderful to see them pictured not as a panhandler or a grubby person, but a person, just like everybody else. That sort of education, I think, is needed. We can't turn our eyes away from them. We need to find a way to make it better for them. And I think, as everyone here said, we need to consult the experts in the field and get things done.
Okay. What are the new councillors ready to do to promote health and wellness with the youth in the valley? I guess we'll say in Ward 5.
That's a surprise. I wasn't ready for this one. The youth, well, they're the most important things because they're our leaders later. Okay? And to keep them busy in sports, different activities in our community, is keeping them off the street. That's where some of them become a real cost to our society. A playground, a half-decent play area for our children is not expensive compared to taking care of one fellow in jail. We have to fight for drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and all this, as soon as they reach a certain age. But if you teach them how to be a team player, accept losses as well as wins, they become responsible adults or teenagers. But we have to start at the bottom of the line to be able to teach them how to respect other people as well as playing a game which is not necessarily just to win. It's to be able to be part of something, because eventually they will be part of our society. If they're responsible, hey, good for us. We don't have to take care of them. They'll take care of themselves.
What we're trying to do is get the youth more involved in their community. And again, 28 years teaching, 4 years as a trustee. One of the things that's happening is the school communities are disconnected from the rest of the community. And one of the big goals, one of the big pushes I'm trying to get over the next 4 years, 8 years, is to get more involvement with the students from the schools into the community. We're trying that with Valley's Facebook site that has 3,100 members on it. I know there are a lot of high school students on that group. And I know there's a lot of high school students watching that group. And what I keep mentioning to the adults on the group is, watch what you're saying, be careful with how you're wording things, because the kids are watching. And they're learning. And they're learning how people interact and communicate together as a community. We, very shortly, I'm hoping, are going to be announcing that there is a new location for the youth center out in Ward 5. And as part of that youth center, it looks as if we're going to be having a senior group using the same facility during the day. One of the goals between the person that I'm working with is to have the seniors and the youth start engaging and starting working together. So there's a mentorship approach. If we can start helping the organizations and the community service groups get more involved with the schools and have the schools go beyond those walls, then I think we'll start to deal with the health and wellness. And the biggest issue at school today is stress, the mental health issue. So if we can help students become proud of their community and proud of what they're doing, they'll take care of their community, they'll take care of themselves. And I think that's a big goal that I'm trying to work on over the next 4 years.
Well, one of the things that, well, many of the things that I've learned over the years as a probation parole officer, I saw the end result of youth that didn't have the appropriate role model, or didn't have the resources in the community to keep themselves busy and occupied. It all comes down, everything starts at home. That's what I've always told my clients. Everything starts at home. So if things are not working all that well at home, and you have no place to get the resources to help you out, well, what are you going to do? You're going to turn yourself to a negative role model who will accept you the way you are. Drugs and alcohol are rampant in the community, in the youth as well as with the adults. So when you keep that in mind, we as a community have a certain responsibility to ensure that the children have a safe haven, a safe place to go to deal with some of the issues that they may be facing. And sometimes you don't need a $1 million building in order to provide those services. We have the infrastructure at this particular time, and I'll use an example. Whether it's a community center or whether it's at the Howard Armstrong Center, we have the facility. Let's provide that. The other thing that I've said over the years is that we have to have something for the kids to keep busy. Whether it be, I'm going to use the example exactly, a world-class skate park. That's an example, a place where they can go to express themselves. In some cities, they have a wall of graffiti which people can go out and express themselves by painting on the wall. gets them to express their sentiments, their feelings, but it also gets the artistic side out. In the end, when the youths are well, the crime rate goes down. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not sure how many people are aware, but the federal government has put out a national psychological health and wellness standard across the country, and our school board at Sudbury Catholic is one of the first school boards to run with this program and start instituting the 13 domains, not only for the students and the children, but for also all staff members of the school board. It's important to engage them, as the previous people have said. If you let it go too long and they get into bad habits, it's very difficult to break them out of them. I think the idea of having teen drop-in centers is important. Somewhere safe, supervised, where kids can go by themselves, not with mom and dad necessarily watching over them, and express themselves and learn how to be independent, learn how to be the young adults that they're growing into. We've certainly seen in the Valley that soccer is very well attended. Hockey as well. We need to look at other sports that are possible. The one thing that drives me a little bit crazy as a teacher is that when June 30th rolls around, this beautiful tax-paid building shuts down. There's nobody here. And it's a phenomenal facility. All of the schools are available. All of the schools have equipment. We should be able to start using them with community use agreements. I know all the boards have them. But let's start doing a leadership role as directors of leisure and recreation and start having intramural sports during the summer. Let's give the kids something to do because school's not on. July and August. Okay, parents are still working, unless you're teachers. So let's give them something that they can do in a place that's already built with the equipment that's already there. It's not duplication of services. Let's use what's available. And I think that's something we can do as a counselor in Ward 5 and as a city throughout the city. Imagine having all summer long sports tournaments, competing ward against ward, for instance. Phenomenal idea, and a sense of pride and community. Very easy to do, and wouldn't cost very much at all.
Well, as a young father with a teenager, I'm not immune to youth issues. My wife and I, we work daily dealing with teen pregnancy, drug issues, school issues, problems. And now, with a teenager that's starting to drive, that adds a whole new world of help in my life. A man once told me that people tend to listen with the intent to respond. I like to listen with the intent to understand. And with a teenage son, it's a lot of understanding. I want to work with teenagers by listening to them, talking to them. Being a young man myself, I tend to fit in a little bit better, a little rough around the edges. But I want to work with schools like Confederation and Horizon, as Confederation puts on anti-bullying and anti-drinking working groups, and to work with Impact 621, the group started by the three parents who lost these three children in Hamburg, who we all remember. I want to work with parents to create youth programs at a strong youth center with people there available to listen with the intent to understand, people who are trained to help. I want to promote a healthy community with healthy parks and ideas and opportunities for children to get off their iPhones and their PlayStations. And if anybody has a magic answer for that, I'd like it, because I can't get the iPhone out of my kid's hand. So plain and simple, I need to listen, and I will listen. I'll work with community educators and community citizens like yourself to find out what the troubling problems are. And to, like the homeless question, we have to talk to them, find out what they need. Let's talk with the community, let's talk with the youth, let's see what they want. And I'm sure we can find very cost-effective and very cost-efficient things in order to do this.
Robert? Excellent. Okay, and given the time, we're into the final closing comments, so we'll now allow each of the candidates a couple of minutes to summarize the reason why you should be voting for them. Robert, you get, no, you had the first one on the last one, did you? Or is it your turn?
I was the last one.
You're the last one? Last question.
Stand corrected.
Councillors and dear friends, I sincerely hope that we have given you a clear view of what we have to offer. It is often difficult to decide who to vote for. It does seem that you are lucky because you have such a choice. These people seem to be quite wanting to help our city. I still say vote Bertolo as councillor because I'm honest. I shoot from the hip. I'm polite, bilingual, hard worker, retired to devote all my 24/7 time to you. I'm an optimist. This city can have it all, and this is what we want for ourselves and our children in the future. We have all the resources necessary to bring this on. Again, vote Bertolo, vote for a better tomorrow.
The election campaign this year, people have asked me how the campaign was going, and I told them I really don't know because I've been campaigning for 40 years. And in my point of view, what I've been doing for the last 40 years is getting to know the community. I've been in a training program, and now I'm sitting at a stage of my life where I've got the qualifications, I've got the experience, I've got the ability, I've got the time, and I know the people. And I think the people know me, they've known me for a long time. There are a lot of things that I want to do to make this community better. I really want to spend a lot of time improving the quality of life for the people in the Sudbury portion of Ward 5. They really do need a lot more provided for them. The people in the south, in the housing units, the people in the co-ops, that whole area needs a lot. And they have to get a lot more attention. The people in the valley, I really want to start working with the Ward 6 councillor. And I want to work together with the Ward 6 councillor so that we can build the valley and not just everything from Dominion Drive over and everything from Dominion Drive north. Like, we have to look at, let's connect and let's become the valley again. So we've got two distinct communities that have to be looked at. The Sudbury portion, a lot of needs, much different needs than here. The valley portion, much different needs, but we've got the ability to work together and connect. And my ability to represent people and to present arguments, present a position that will help people see that perhaps the position we're trying to put forth in the valley is good for the entire city of Greater Sudbury. Maybe we should have community gardens throughout the area. Maybe we should have better playgrounds throughout the area. Maybe our transit service should be better. So that's why I'm running. I think I've got a lot to do.
Mesdames et messieurs, vous avez entendu ce soir que ce que je vous propose en tant que candidat. Une chose qui est certaine, c'est que je vais travailler fort pour vous et je vais toujours vous rester avec, vous traiter avec respect. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight you heard that we talked about leadership in the community. I'm not afraid to lead by example when it comes to Ward 5 in the city of Greater Sudbury. When you consider where I come from, what I mean by that is that where I had a serious injury, fought like hell, and literally had to relearn to do everything to accomplish what I've done today. My wife said to me tonight before we left, because I was very nervous, and she pointed out, Richard, remember where you've been and where you're going. So where I'm going with this is basically, I can't do the job properly as your counselor if I don't listen to what the citizens are saying. But that's what you will get from me. I can't run away, no pun intended, because you'll catch up to me. all right? I'm going to be with you for 5 minutes talking, and I'm going to still take me 5 minutes to get away, but that's what you'll get from me. The other thing you'll get from me is you'll get integrity, because I'm not in it for myself. I'm in it to help people. I'm in it to work with the community. The other thing you'll get is accountability. Is I propose that once, if I'm elected, that the city should make biannual reports, no, not biannual, sorry, quarterly reports as to what's happening with council and where they're at in regards with their plans. That's what I would push for. I know I'm running out of time, so I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, merci beaucoup pour votre attention ce soir et votre question. C'est très important pour tous les candidats ici que vous êtes ici ce soir. You have one more job to do in this election.